Om. Om. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Sri Matre Namaha. Sri Atma Bandhulara. Today we are starting at one more Zoom session. The first question in today's Zoom session is, how many shlokas does the Bhagavad Gita contain? See, somebody is asking this question. My answer is, browse the following link to know about the various details regarding your question. Uday Shivakeswam's answer to the total number of verses in the Bhagavad Gita is 700, but the chapter verses are different in chapter 1 and chapter 13. It is 47 plus 34 in one and 46 plus 35 in the other. The rest of the chapters have the same number of verses. So which one is correct and why? So if you browse this, you will get my answer, earlier answer. Anyway. Next question. What is a good book to learn about the Bhagavad Gita? Myself and my wife practiced Bhagavad Gita for more than 38 years. Which version of Bhagavad Gita should I read since many versions are edited? Browse the following link to know about the answer to your questions. Today's Shivakesham's answer to how can I read Bhagavad Gita easily? Is there any easy way through which I can easily understand? Uday Shivakesham's answer to I am planning to read Bhagavad Gita. I have seen there are so many books available in the market. Which one would you suggest? So these two links will give you the answer to your question. Next question. How can I read Bhagavad Gita easily? Is there any easy way through which I can easily understand? My answer is, many people read Bhagavad Gita, but they don't understand on the one hand, and even if they understand, they don't practice it in life. Full results are realized when you practice Bhagavad Gita in your daily life. As you have expressed your desire to purify yourself from past mistakes, I will tell you simple rules to purify yourself. Follow them in daily life. An ounce of practice is worth a ton of precept. Don't harm anybody in life by thought, word, and by any act. Next one, don't harm any animal or living creature by beating, injuring, or killing. Next one, offer at least 5 to 10% of your earnings to less fortunate and needy and deserving people. Next one, if you can't offer food for humans and many others, offer little food for crows or grains for birds. Next one, read Bhagavad Gita, one chapter or 3 or 6 chapters daily after bath and wearing fresh clothes. Offer pranams to Lord Sri Krishna and Gita Mata and your Ishtadaivam. That is God you like, both before and after reading Bhagavad Gita. Next one, understand Bhagavad Gita to the best of your effort. If your effort is sincere, some way will be shown by Lord Sri Krishna to make you understand Bhagavad Gita. You will get a good Gita book yourself through somebody. Have faith in God and be good and do good always. Hari Om. I am planning to read Bhagavad Gita. I have seen there are so many books available in the market. Which one would you suggest? My answer is, as you expressed your desire to read Bhagavad Gita in Telugu, I have given you the best book through which you can understand the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita authored by me is titled Srimad Bhagavad Gita Mukti Sopanamu Tatparya Saita Vyakhyanam by Dr. Woodday Shivakeshavam. It is available from me. If you find any difficulty, please let me know. I would suggest you to read from A to Z. Then only you will understand the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. Browse the following site to see the Bhagavad Gita book. Display the titled book. Harivo. Next question. Why does the Lord Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita say one should keep their secrets to themselves? My answer is, I don't think that Lord Sri Krishna ever said in the Bhagavad Gita in any one of the slokas that one should keep their secrets to themselves. If you quote the specific sloka or context that made you understand that way, I can clarify. If you quote the sloka. Harivo. Next question. What are the slokas in Sanskrit regarding karma, rebirth, and reincarnation, especially from the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is karma. A number of slokas are there on karma. 2-39 to 2-53 of the Bhagavad Gita are important among them. Rebirth. 8-15 and 8-16 are the important slokas on rebirth. Reincarnation. 4-7 and 4-8 are the important slokas on reincarnation. Next question. What lines of the Bhagavad Gita inspired you a lot? My answer, you are asking the question as to what lines of Bhagavad Gita inspired you a lot. My answer is, the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, and all the scriptures. So the whole of the Bhagavad Gita inspired me a lot. All the chapters of the Bhagavad Gita convey the essence of the human life. The summary of the preachings of Bhagavad Gita are given in the link below. Browse the same. Woodday Shivakesham's answer to what is the moral of Bhagavad Gita. The answer to the above link is given against some other questions. Please go through the same. Next question. Does the Bhagavad Gita believe that earth is fixed or does it rotate? My answer is, Bhagavad Gita does not talk about the configuration of the earth. However, Bhagavad Gita talks about the eightfold Prakriti of nature, in which earth is one among the 8 elements of the Prakriti. The following are the 8 elements of the Prakriti as per the Bhagavad Gita, given in Sloka 7-4. Earth, water, fire, air, sky, mind, intellect, and ego of the humans are the 8 elements in the Prakriti as per the Bhagavad Gita. The corresponding sloka is as follows. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhina prakrutirashtha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intellect, and egoism. Thus is my nature divided 8-fold. This is the meaning of the above sloka. Bhagavad Gita does not talk about the rotation of the earth. Harivo. Next question. Is Shiva Gita as authentic as Bhagavad Gita? Did Lord Shiva really impart the knowledge of Shiva Gita to Lord Rama according to Valmiki Ramayana? My answer is yes. Shiva Gita is as authentic as the Bhagavad Gita. It contains the growth of the human embryo, anatomy of human beings, etc. Harivo. Next question. How many chapters are in the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are a total of 18 chapters, out of which 6 chapters, that is chapters 1 through 6, talk about how one should do his duties or her duties, and it is called Karma Shatkam. The second set of 6 chapters, from chapter 7th to 12th, is called as Bhakti Shatkam. The third set of 6 chapters, from chapter 13th to 18th, is called as Jnana Shatkam. The chapter-wise details of Bhagavad Gita are as follows. First chapter, 1. The grief of Arjuna, that is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Second chapter, 2. The way of knowledge, Sankhya Yoga. Third chapter, 3. The way of action, Karma Yoga. Fourth chapter, 4. The way of renunciation of action in knowledge, Jnana Yoga. Fifth chapter, 5. The way of renunciation, Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Sixth chapter, the way of meditation, Dhyana Yoga. Seventh chapter, 7. The way of knowledge with realization, Vijnana Yoga. Eighth chapter, 8. The way to the imperishable Brahman, Akshara Parabrahma Yoga. Ninth chapter, 9. The way of kingly knowledge and the kingly secret, Raja Vidya, Raja Gushya Yoga. 10th chapter, 10. Glimpses of the divine glories, Vibhuti Yoga. 11th chapter, 11. The vision of the universal form, Vishwarupa Sandarsana Yoga. 12th chapter, 12. The way of devotion, Bhakti Yoga. 13th chapter, 13. The discrimination of the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, Vibhaga Yoga. 14th chapter, 14. Discrimination of the 3 gunas, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. 15th chapter, 15. The way to the Supreme Spirit, Purushottama Prapti Yoga. 16th chapter, 16. The classification of the divine and non-divine attributes, Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. 17th chapter, 17. The inquiry into the threefold Shraddha, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. 18th chapter, 18. The way of liberation in renunciation, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. The significance of 18 in the Bhagavad Gita, or the importance of 18 in the Bhagavad Gita. Mahabharata has got 18 chapters called as Parvas. Hindu temple has got 18 steps. Kurukshetra war lasted for 18 days. The soul and its characteristics in the Bhagavad Gita are described in 18 slokas. The Stita Prajna characteristics are described in 18 slokas in the Bhagavad Gita. The human being has to surmount the 18 barriers consisting of the gross body, that is 5 pranas, 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, senses, that is mind, intellect, and total 18. Before he or she could attain salvation or liberation or moksha, Bhagavad Gita has got 18 names as given below. Gita, Ganga, Gayatri, Sita, Satya, Saraswati, Brahmavidya, Brahmavalli, Trisanjha, Muktigehini, Ardhamatra, Chidananda, Chidananda, Bhavagni, Bhayanasini, Vedatrayi, Parananta, Tattvartha Jnana Manjari. These are the 18 names of the Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om. Next question. What is this sloka in the Bhagavad Gita meaning? What you think, so you are. Answer. Look into the sloka 4-11, which is close to what you are saying. Ye yadha mam prapadyante tam tadhaiva bhajamyaham mama vattvanu vattante manushya pardha sarvasya. This is sloka 4-11. Meaning of the above sloka is, in whatever way men approach me, that is God, Even so do I reward them. My path do men tread in always, O Arjuna, is the meaning of the sloka 4-11. So this is the sloka closest to your questions. Harivu. Next question. When Lord Sri Krishna says it is the duty of a Kshatriya to fight, doesn't this mean he acknowledged the caste system? My answer is yes. Lord Sri Krishna is not only acknowledging the caste system, but in the sloka 4-13 of the Bhagavad Gita, he said, he himself as God created the caste system, but based on the qualities of human beings, not based on the birth certificates. Read the sloka 4-13 of the Bhagavad Gita as given below. God said, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashah tasya kattaram apimam vidya kattaram avyayam. That is sloka 4-13. Meaning of the above sloka is, the fourfold caste has been created by me, that is God, according to the differentiation of guna and karma of the individuals. Though I am the author thereof, know me as the non-doer and immutable, is the meaning of sloka 4-13. Commentary. The four castes are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. This division is according to the gunas and karmas. Guna is quality. Karma is the kind of work. Both guna and karma determine the caste of a man. This was the original intention of the God in creating Varna system. However, people had given a different interpretation in later years. They started describing the people's caste system based on the birth of the individual. This created the problems to humans, and this system is still continuing. Bhagavad Gita preaches that there is only one God, one religion, and one caste. Hariyo. Next question. What is yoga as described by Sri Krishna in Gita? My answer is, browse the following link for getting your answer to your question. Vidya Shivakesham's answer to how many types of yoga are there as per the Bhagavad Gita. The word yoga is used in the Bhagavad Gita in different contexts, differently a number of times. Vishada Yogam, Sankhya Yogam, Karma Yogam, Nishkama Karma Yogam, Buddhi Yogam, Karma Sannyasa Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Dhyana Yogam, Atma Samyama Yogam, Vijnana Yogam, Akshara Parabrahma Yogam, Raja Vidya Rajagushya Yogam, Vibhuti Yogam, Vishwarupa Sandarsana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogam, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogam, Purushottama Prapti Yogam, Daivatara Sampat Vibhaga Yogam, Shadbhatraya Vibhaga Yogam, Moksha Sanyasa Yogam, etc. The main Dhyana Yoga is said to consist of 8 individual components as under Yamam, Niyamam, Asanam, Pranayamam, Pratyaharam, Dharana, Dhyanam, and Samadhi. All these things are not learned by reading books or by soliciting answers over phone. They should be learned from a Sadguru. Browse here to know who is the real Sadguru. Vidya Shivakesham's answer to who is Sadguru. However, Yogam is defined in the Bhagavad Gita as follows. Yoga Karmashu Kaushalam, which means that doing the given work skillfully is called as Yogam. Siddha Siddho Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, which means that where you gain or lose, whether you gain or lose, whether you succeed or fail in a task, whether your efforts culminate in profit or loss in a transaction, you must take the outcome of your endeavors with equanimity. Taking everything in life with equanimity is called as Yogam. Yogi Samalostasma Kanchanaha, which means that you as a yogi must view a pellet of mud, a pebble of stone, or a lump of gold equally with equanimity, without any undue weightage towards any one of all the three substances described above. This is called really as yogam as per the Bhagavad Gita. But yogam means not the physical bodily exercises people normally indulge in the name of yoga. I hope you understand the importance of yogam as defined in the Bhagavad Gita and the word yoga used loosely by the general public in yoga exercises. Next question. What is ultimate consciousness in Bhagavad Gita? My answer is the opening sloka of Bhagavad Gita 1-1 is Dharma. The closing sloka 18-78 of the Bhagavad Gita is Mama. If you join both of them, Dharma plus Mama, it becomes Mama Dharma. This means my Dharma. Ultimate consciousness of the Bhagavad Gita is to follow one's duties sincerely, diligently, effectively, efficiently, without fear or favor, and without looking for the profit and benefit of the duties being conducted or performed by the individuals, and to do that duty as if you are doing worship to God. This is to work as if work is worship. This is to perform one's dharma without any fault. This is the ultimate consciousness in the Bhagavad Gita. Next question. Do you read the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is yes. I read Bhagavad Gita. It is a sacred text. I recommend everybody to read it. It is a must-read Bhagavad Gita in life. The greatness of the Bhagavad Gita is summarized in the following sloka. महापापादि पापानि गीताध्यानं करोति चेत् क्वचित् स्पर्शं न कुर्वन्ति नलिनीदलमम्भसा. The meaning of the above sloka is as follows. Even if you had done the higher than the highest of the papas, that is, bad and cruel criminal acts, that is, heinous crimes, if you are indulging in the regular practices of the Bhagavad Gita, then you will be absolved of all your papas. Just as the water on the lotus leaf, which does not wet the lotus leaf, though it is in touch with the water. You will not be affected by the papas committed by you. It amounts to saying that the process of practicing the Bhagavad Gita will have such a salutary effect of cleansing even your heinous crimes. It should, however, be remembered that you must bury your hatchet of criminal record and take to pious ways of leading a purified public life while practicing the preachings of the Bhagavad Gita. In that event, all your previous papas will be washed away without any doubt. Ratnakara, the person of tribal origin who was a criminal in his past life, became a pious person, Valmiki. And so also Vamana, who was thick in adultery in the past life, became a saint and a yogi. These are the best examples in the human history to prove the efficacy of practicing a purified life in spite of a bad past history. Harivo. Next question. What is the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is Bhagavad Gita is the quintessence of all the scriptures. Instead of spending so much of one's valuable time on reading all the scriptures, it is enough to read the Bhagavad Gita, which gives the essence of what all is contained in all the scriptures put together. This is the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita. Yet, the full text of the Bhagavad Gita contains only 700 slokas, and for a scholarly person who knows the Sanskrit language, it takes only 3 hours for reading. For others who don't know the Sanskrit language, there are translations available in all the major languages of the world. By knowing the knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita, there is nothing else to be known from this world other than what all the knowledge that is contained in the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is the universal treatise for the entire humanity. Browse through the following link for further details. Vidya Shivakesham's answers. To is it true that we can get all the answers to our question in the Bhagavad Gita? Harivo. Next question. what is the best sloka of the Bhagavad Gita by which the whole human community will benefit? My answer is, it has been told by the God in sloka 11-55 of the Bhagavad Gita. The summary of the sloka 11-55 is being given below. Bhagavan Vacha, God said, Matkarma Krunmat Paramo Madbhakta Sanghavajitaha Nirvaira Sarvabhuteshu Yasamame Iti Pandava. This is sloka 11-55. The meaning of the above sloka is as follows. This single sloka is considered to be the summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Hence it is being given here. O Pandunandana, he who performs all his duties, keeping in mind as God is all-pervading and is present everywhere in everything, he who performs all his duties by reposing all his faith, as I am the benefactor of giving all the results for all the people at all times, in me, that is God, the sole repository, he who is not having any attachment with any agency or other people except the work he or she is doing with full devotion, dedication, with all his or her effectiveness and efficiency, he or she who does not have any rancor with any living creatures or beings of this world, such person or persons would get all my grace, and he or she would in fact attain me, that is God, meaning that person would become as great as God himself, or in other words, that person would become the God himself or herself. This is 11-55. This is the best sloka in the Bhagavad Gita, which summarizes the whole of the Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om. Next question. According to Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, we should not worship goddesses. Is that true? My answer is yes. Indirectly, God conveyed that to the world. What God says is that because of the lack of knowledge that I, that is God, am there everywhere in this world, and that the prime driving force is being provided me for the whole world in all its forms, people are worshipping the demigods and goddesses. But in reality, all the demigods and goddesses are working under me, that is God, under my command and control. However, these demigods and goddesses have only limited powers given or delegated by me as God, whereas I as God have absolute and unlimited powers. So by worshipping the demigods and goddesses, the devotee can never witness absolute bliss, as it could be given only by the God Almighty. So it is true that we should not worship demigods and goddesses, but worship only the God if you want the full benefits of worshipping. God told in the 7th chapter about this, Yo yo yamam tanum bhakta shraddhaya chitamichyati tasya tasyachalam shraddham tameva vidadamyaham. The meaning is what I told you earlier. So that is the answer to your question. Next question. What is the best one-liner from the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, there is nothing in this world except me, that is God, who is pervading all over the world, just as air is filled in the atmosphere all over the space. Mr. Sukumar Sundaram has requested the corresponding Sanskrit sloka to be quoted. Now, the same is being done below. There are many slokas in the Bhagavad Gita conveying the meaning of the above message. However, I am giving below the one closest to your question from the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yadhakasa tito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan tada sarvani bhutani matsani tipadharaya. This is sloka 9-6. Commentary. Air is present in the atmosphere, but you can't see the air with your eyes. However, you can feel its presence, that is the presence of the air, with your sensational feeling of the skin. Similarly, God, though present all over the world, he cannot be seen by the naked eyes. God can, however, be seen by the Divya Drishti, just as air can't be seen by the eyes, but can be felt by the sensual feelings of the skin. Just as air is not concerned with the intentions of the individual in its circulation, God is also not concerned with the intentions of the individuals, though he pervades all over the world all the time. However, God dispenses with justice to all your good as well as bad actions without doubt. People, that is human beings, should know about this so that God is watching all the actions of all the humans all the time on 24 into 7 hours basis. By knowing this, people should refrain from doing any bad karma to anybody or the society in their day-to-day dealings. If you do anything bad to anybody, either knowingly or unknowingly, you will have to reap its karma phalam, either in the present birth or in your next birth without fail. Birth or birth without fail. So, we must refrain from doing anything bad to any person or to the society, even though others may not be watching, but God will be watching all the actions of all the beings all the time. Hari Om. Next question. What is the summary of Gita in one sentence? My answer is, the following is the summary of the Bhagavad Gita in one sentence. Yatra yogeshwara Krishno yatra pardho dhanuddharah tatra sri vijayor bhutir dhruva nitir matir mama. This sloka 18-78. The meaning of the above sloka is as follows. Where you, the person performing his or her duties, give primacy to God, where you have the weapon wielding Arjuna, means a person fully prepared to do his or her duty without any attachments to the outcome of his or her actions. There, in such a place, you, the person doing the work or duty, are unequivocally, without doubt, assured of the following: wealth, that is goddess Lakshmi, that is money; victory, Vijay Lakshmi; property, Aishwarya Lakshmi; unfettered morality, dharma and righteousness. So always pray God and do your duties sincerely, beautifully, effectively, efficiently, and without any attachment to the end result. You will get what is good and best for you. This is the summary of the Bhagavad Gita in one sentence. Hari Om. Next question. Is a guru important according to the Bhagavad Gita, or can one go on a path of self-discovery all by himself or herself? My answer is, even the Lord Sri Rama had sage Vasishtha as his guru. Even Lord Sri Krishna had Sandipana as his guru. Guidance of a good guru in the matters of spiritual field is absolutely necessary. There is no second thought on this issue. Guidance of getting a good guru is given in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Read, understand, and implement without delay. Guru is essential in the spiritual field. How to find out a good guru is given below the link. What day Shivakesan's answer to who is Sadguru? Next question. Who wrote the Srimad Bhagavad Gita for the general public? My answer is, Mahabharata, consisting of 1,00,000 slokas, was written by sage Vyasa, and the Bhagavad Gita, consisting of 700 slokas, being a part of the Mahabharata, was also written by the same sage Vyasa. Next question. What did Lord Krishna say to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, Arjuna was thinking that Lord Krishna was only his friend and relative. But after the Lord Krishna started teaching Arjuna about the actual account of human life and its real nature and perspective, Arjuna was baffled. When Lord Sri Krishna told him about the concept of Atma and its eternal nature, Arjuna got confused between the direction in which he should proceed, in doing one's duty or to pursue the knowledge of the Atma and retire to sannyasam without doing the daily duties. Lord Sri Krishna clarifies Arjuna that this human body has come to do one's duty. But in doing one's duty, one should not get attached to the outcome of the results of the duties. Lord Sri Krishna told very clearly that one must do one's duty without any second thought. Doing one's duty will automatically lead the person to liberation, and for the purpose of liberation alone, one need not take to sannyasam. The same result of liberation, what could be obtained by sannyasam, could as well be obtained easily by simply doing one's duty without any attachment to the final result of the duty being performed. Lord Sri Krishna tells that this important karma yoga, as it is called Nishkama karma yoga, was told by Lord Krishna to the sun god long times back. Sun god told this yoga to the king Manu. King Manu told to his son Ikshvaku. From Ikshvaku, it got spread over millennium. But as kings who were assiduously practicing this karma yoga were got annihilated en masse by Parashurama, who was invading 21 times on the Kshatriya clans. He had erased all the princely states of the princes, thereby annihilating the Kshatriya clans. As a result of the annihilation of the Kshatriya clans, Nishkama Karma Yoga went into the oblivion from being practiced in the present-day world. Earlier, in spite of being the rulers of the kingdom, Janaka Chakravarti, Mandhata, Ambarisha, etc. were practicing this Nishkama Karma Yoga. As the kings and princely clans were not existing, the Nishkama Karma Yoga got completely erased from the minds of the present generation. So just to remind you, I am preaching you this Nishkama Karma Yoga, which was very popular in the olden days, told Lord Sri Krishna to Arjuna. Slowly preaching one by one, Lord Krishna preaches Arjuna about Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and also Jnana Yoga. In this process, Arjuna got his moham destroyed and becomes illuminated. Hari Om. Next question. Who were there besides Arjuna to listen to the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is the following four people listened to the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, Sanjaya, Dhritarashtra, and Hanuman. Arjuna listened directly from Lord Sri Krishna. Sanjaya listened directly from Lord Sri Krishna because of the special powers granted by sage Vyasa to Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra heard the Bhagavad Gita through Sanjaya, as Sanjaya was given by sage Vyasa the special powers of being able to see the war scenes and also give live coverage to the blind king about the Kurukshetra war. Hanuman was on the flag of the Arjuna's chariot, that is Dhwajam, being driven by Lord Sri Krishna during the Mahabharata war and directly heard the Bhagavad Gita being rendered by Lord Sri Krishna. Hari Om. Next question. Who wrote the Gita? My answer is Lord Sri Mahavishnu, incarnated as Lord Sri Krishna during the Dwapara Yugam, preached the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, the Pandava during the Kurukshetra war. Sage Vyasa wrote the entire Mahabharata, including Bhagavad Gita, consisting of 1,00,000 slokas with Lord Ganesha as his scriber for Sage Vyasa. Bhagavad Gita, as originally posted, was having 745 slokas. However, as on today, only about 701 slokas are available to the humanity. Hari Om. Next question. Why is Ramacharitamanus held above Gita, Vedas, Itihasas, and Puranas? What is the real reason behind? My answer is nobody held Ramacharitamanus above Bhagavad Gita, Vedas, Itihasas, and Puranas. Please bring the relevant information as proof of your statement. Then we will put it for public debate, deliberation, discussion, and decision. Hari Om. Next question. Can Bhagavad Gita be applicable to one-eye person? My answer is Bhagavad Gita is applicable to all people, irrespective of religion, region, race, language, age, sex, educated, uneducated, color, physically or mentally challenged people of all shades. So, irrespective of impairment of eyesight, speech, hearing, walking, working, and mentally challenged people cannot take refuge in the Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita is applicable to one-eyed person also. Haribo. Next question. What is the meaning of word Srimad in Srimad Bhagavad Gita? My answer is Srimad is prefixed for the noblest scriptures, the noblest of people, and in the case of unparalleled possession of opulence, wealth, property, name, fame, dharma, wisdom, and the unattached attitude of renunciation, as in the case of the definition of God Almighty as follows. ऐश्वर्यस्य समग्रस्य धर्मस्य यशस्त्र प्रियः ज्ञानवैराग्ययोश्चैव षण्णां भव इतीरिताः. God is one who possesses all the above mentioned 6 traits in abundance with unmatched opulence. Similarly, Srimad is also used for texts that describe the glory of the God and the glory of the goddess Lakshmi. Browse through the following link for the dictionary and other meanings of the word Srimad. Hinduism, what is meant by the word Srimad? This is given by Sri Vidya Rajagopalan in his favorite answer. Srimad is prefixed not only for auspicious and noble scriptures, but also for eminent and noble scholars also. Srimad, adjective of high rank or dignity. Srimad, adjective of decorated with the insignia of royalty. Srimad, adjective of venerable. Srimad, adjective of fortunate. Srimad, adjective of glorious. Srimad, adjective of pleasant. Srimad, adjective of prosperous. Srimad, adjective of illustrious. Srimad, adjective of auspicious. Srimad, adjective of possessed of fortune. Srimad, adjective of lovely. Srimad, adjective of beautiful. Srimad, adjective of splendid. Srimad, adjective of charming. Srimad, adjective of eminent. Example, Srimad Ramanuja, Srimad Ajagya Singar, Srimad Andavan Swamigal, Srimad Ramanuja Siddhanta Nidharana Sarvabhauma, Srimad Bodhendra Desikendra Namostute, Srimad Intoxication produced by wealth or prosperity. Example, Srimad Akalanka Paripurna Keshikoti Narasimha Ashtakam. Lord Narasimha is like billions of full moons without any stains. So, meaning of Srimad is, I know that Sri or Sri means serene and is used in place of Mr. in India. So, I am guessing that it is like the serene words of or the serene epic, since it is the title of epics. Edit. This is really going to be hilarious, but the Sanskrit English translation says that it is intoxicating in the context of its richness. Srimad means venerable, fortunate, abounding in gold, charming, wealthy, glorious, pleasant, decorated, with the insignia of royalty, prosperous, illustrious, auspicious, possessed of fortune, eminent, splendorous, lovely, beautiful, splendid, posh, of high rank or dignity. In the context of holy books, it would mean venerable, glorious, auspicious, etc. Hari Om. Next question. Why was Bhagavad Gita not spoken to a woman or included any woman listener? My answer is the necessity is the mother of invention. People have been finding new things based on the necessity. You need to advise somebody when the need arises. Arjuna, the Pandava prince who went through so many trials and tribulations during the 12 years of forest life, and 1 year of life in exile was actually waiting to take revenge on the Kauravas, who deprived the Pandavas of their princelyhood and subjected them to untold miseries. The D-Day came in the form of Kurukshetra war, but surprisingly, after the battle lines were drawn and armies on either side gathered in the war field facing each other, suddenly Arjuna dropped the war weapons and was about to walk away from the battlefield, saying, I don't want either victory or the accruing kingdom consequent on being victorious. I would rather retire into forest or renounce everything and take to sannyasam rather than engaging in killing the kith and kin for the sake of kingdom. It was at this juncture, based on the need of the hour, and as Arjuna admitted his deluded state of mind, because of which he lost the reasoning capacity of his mind and unable to decide by himself whether he should do the war or walk away from the battlefield, he fell at the feet of Lord Sri Krishna and beseeched him to give Arjuna directions on the course of action Arjuna should take at that crucial juncture of Arjuna's dilemma, disillusionment, and imbecility of decision. This necessity of Arjuna prompted Lord Sri Krishna to preach Arjuna the sacred text of the Bhagavad Gita. Had there been ladies at that time, they could have also listened to the Bhagavad Gita. However, as ladies were precluded from the participation in the war proceedings those days, no ladies were there for listening to the Bhagavad Gita at that time. Satguru Maharshi Malayala Swami established Kanya Gurukulam in Yerpedu near Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh and taught Bhagavad Gita exclusively to the girls from all castes in the Kanya Gurukulam in the state of Andhra Pradesh. As a result, many thousands of girls and women have been practicing the Bhagavad Gita in the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Further, my wife Srimati Budde Lakshmi Prabhavati became a yogini and brahmajnani, giving her an equivalent status among the existing yoginis of India, equating her status in the spiritual field to women like Madalasa, Chodala, Gargi, Maitreyi, etc. So the discourse of the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord Sri Krishna to Arjuna was by chance and not by choice, and the exclusion of women listeners is not intentional but purely accidental. So there is no discrimination of women in the preachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om. Next question. In what language was the first Bhagavad Gita written? My answer is, the first Bhagavad Gita was a part of the Mahabharata written in Sanskrit by the sage Vyasa. While the Mahabharata consisted of 1 lakh slokas in total, the Bhagavad Gita, which is part of the Mahabharata, consisted only of about 700 slokas in all. As the Bhagavad Gita is considered as the essence of the Vedas, Puranas, Vyakaranas, and the Upanishads, and which was personally spoken by God Himself, a separate book was culled out from the Mahabharata and brought out as a text in the form of Bhagavad Gita with 700 slokas. It is a small book compared to the Mahabharata. However, due to its importance in human life and because of the value of its content, many commentaries came into being and are still coming even today, and they will continue to come in future also. As on today, the Bhagavad Gita is translated into all the major modern languages of the world. The entire Mahabharata, including the Bhagavad Gita, was originally written by sage Vyasa in the Sanskrit language. I hope you got the answer. Hari Om. Next question. Why Lord Krishna lied to Arjuna on verse 11-48? Because even Sanjaya, sages, yogis, Hanuman, and all other gods were watching the universal form of Krishna as indicated in several verses of Gita. My answer is, what Lord Krishna told in the Bhagavad Gita sloka 11-48 is sacrosanct. God wanted to bless Arjuna, and so the God obliged to show the Vishwarupam to Arjuna for the first time. God also confirmed in sloka 11-47 that this Vishwarupam was not shown to anyone earlier. God also said, Maya Prasannena in Shloka 11-47, which means that unless God is pleased, he would not show his Vishwarupam to anybody. God said, O Arjuna, this Vishwarupam was not witnessed by any other person on the earth earlier. This Vishwarupam can't be witnessed even by studying of the Vedas, by performing of the yajnas, by observing the danas, that is doling out, or by the performance of tapas. When Lord Krishna was giving the Vishwarupam darshan to Arjuna, others also saw the same Vishwarupam. But the cause for the Vishwarupam was Arjuna. So what is told in the sloka 11-48 is 100% true. What is shown in your YouTube is not correct. I repeat, it is not correct. Next question. Can I read the Bhagavad Gita after eating vegetarian? My answer is yes. You can read the Bhagavad Gita after eating the vegetarian food. But wash your hands and legs before reading, provided you had taken bath that day, and change your cloth with fresh washed clothes. Otherwise, take bath, change over to washed clothes, offer your pranams to your Ishtadaivam, Gitacharya, that is Lord Sri Krishna and Gita Mata, and then read the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita cleanses all your bad samskaras being carried with you from many of your previous births. Yadbhavam tadbhavat. I have given, in answer to some other questions, a very detailed information on the types of food and their effects. Read them for further understanding. Hari Om. Next question. Why does Lord Rama Krishna worship or advise his devotees like Narada, Arjuna to worship other deities? But in Gita particularly he says not to worship other deities except him alone. Isn't this hypocrisy? My answer is, you seem to be very angry with the Hindu gods. First of all, I want to tell you that it is not good for your health. Before leveling charges, you must make sure that what you are leveling are 100% true. If you don't know, you can ask in a forum like Quora, expressing your doubts and seeking clarifications from learned people. But even in a spiritual field, the way you ask questions in a challenging way is unbecoming of you. Your question pertains to an issue challenging the God itself. You may have a difference of opinion with the Prime Minister of India. Even then, is it the way you challenge the Prime Minister of the country? So learn to be courteous in your tone and tenor. You must agree to disagree with people and other and their opinions. Let me tell you a small story before I give you the reply. The king who went for hunting into a deep forest, but after some time got tired and was feeling thirsty. The king asked one of his soldiers to go and fetch some drinking water. The soldier went to a nearby Parnashala and inquired for drinking water. The inmates turned off the soldier, saying there is no drinking water in the forest. The soldier returned and told the king that he could not get the drinking water, as water was not available in the forest. But the king was feeling so thirsty that he could not contain himself any longer without quenching his thirst. So the king himself came near the Parnasala and requested the old person in the Parnasala, "Oh, my noble saint, can you spare some water to quench my thirst? I am extremely tired and feeling thirsty." The king was given sufficient water to drink. The king then inquired, why? When he sent his soldier, he was told that there was no water in this forest. But now he was given enough water to drink. The saint replied, "O noble king, this is the effect of Mithi Vani, that is sweetness of the speech." Your soldier came and demanded, "Hey Buddhe, pena ke pani do. O old man, give drinking water." I did not feel like giving so much to such uncourteous person. But when you came, you requested so sweetly that I could not refuse your request. So this is the effect of the sweet request the king made that fetched him water, and harsh inquiry by the soldier was deliberately refused. So the moral of the story is, courtesy costs nothing, but earns you success in your endeavor. Now, reply to your queries. In the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna told Arjuna not to worship other deities, if that reference is provided, I can answer your question. Even if someone worships other deities, it amounts to indirectly worshipping him only, but the results are obtained in a circuitous way. There is no reference to Narada in the whole of the Bhagavad Gita text in the context of your question. However, if you quote the reference, I shall give you an appropriate reply. Hari Om. Next question, how can a society benefit from the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, what the world leaders had expressed about the father of the nation is given in the link below. 16 quotes of Mahatma Gandhi by some of the world's most famous men and women. This is one of the quotes by the father of the nation. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is like an ocean. If a few drops the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. Think of Mahatma Gandhi. When people who have not seen the father of the nation can only imagine how great he is from the expressed opinions of others. Similarly, what the Bhagavad Gita is giving to the human society can be fathomed only at least by spending a little time in reading the gift of God given in the Bhagavad Gita. Gift of God from the Bhagavad Gita is, God told that every one of the human beings must do their duty properly, having respect for all the professions. We should not look down upon any profession. Then the society will flourish on all fronts. Human life will be glorified life. The corresponding sloka is being given below. यथा प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मणा तमभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दति मानव. This is sloka 18-46. The meaning of the above sloka is as follows. From whom is the manifestation and evolution of beings, by whom all this is pervaded, worshipping him by performing one's duty, man attains perfection, is the meaning of sloka 18-46. From the above, the following things are clear. This sloka explains the combination of karma, bhakti, and jnanam. Performance of action, that is karma, worship of the Lord through action, that is bhakti, and purification of the mind, which brings about self-realization. That means, if a man performs his or her prescribed duties in the spirit of Lord's instructions, and as if it is, that is action or duty, whatever duty one is doing is the worship of the Lord, surrendering the fruits of the action to the Lord, then the person performing the duties will get perfection of the mind. When the mind is thus purified, he or she will attain perfection, that is moksha, liberation, salvation. If there are some unscrupulous people doing dirty things, the law enforcement agencies will take care of them. But as a responsible citizen of the humanitarian society, you keep doing your duty undaunted by the outcome of your action. This is what is useful to the society, which the mankind will be benefited. This is the purpose of this message of the Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om. Next question. Why do I find Bhagavad Gita more reasonable than any other religious books? My answer is, Bhagavad Gita preaches Bhagavad Gita preaches you all the best ways of doing things in life. It preaches the most human and humane qualities in life, which no other competitive religions of Catholic nature preaches. For example, Bhagavad Gita preaches about fearlessness, purity of mind in thoughts, utterances and actions, steadfastness in knowledge, charity and kindness towards less privileged, control of external organs, study of scriptures, austerity, integrity, non-violence, truthfulness, taking refuge in God, freedom from hatred, sacrificing attitude that is not being over selfish, peaceful living of self and others, absence of crookedness, kindness towards other living beings, absence of desire for being greedy, gentleness, modesty, absence of fickleness, brightness, living glorified life without any blemishes, forgiveness, purity in character and chastity, absence of hatred, not being over pride, being divine or cultivation of divine qualities, to be ridden of pretension, to be devoid of arrogance, to be devoid of wrath, to be devoid of harshness, to be devoid of conceit, to get rid of ignorance, absence of self-glorification, absence of pretension, to possess fortitude, to have uprightness, to do service to the teacher and elders, to be pure in thought, word, and deed, to have firmness, to have self-control, to have dispassion towards sense objects, absence of egoism, remembering the evils associated with pain, suffering, disease, old age, the evils of birth and death, equanimity towards all, and many, many other noble qualities. Further, Bhagavad Gita does not preach anything against anybody in the society, including even all other living creatures of this world. Bhagavad Gita does not discriminate anybody based on caste, creed, color, custom, region, religion, gender, intelligence, education, beautiness, ugliness, age, sex, physically handicapped, mental retardation, etc. Bhagavad Gita preaches global unity and universal brotherhood, or in other words, it calls for the entire humanity to live like a single family. That is Vasudhaika Kutumbam. No wonder you found the Bhagavad Gita to be reasonable. Not only you, any right-thinking individual will find the Bhagavad Gita and its preaching as the most reasonable and unhurting to all. Praise its glories and practice without fail. Hari Om. So, I hope I will stop it here for today. I will pray God to forgive me for many of my mistakes in today's pravachanam. Om यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं चेद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव परमेश नमोऽस्तु ते हरिः ओम तत्सत्.
అంతా చాలా బాగా వచ్చిందండి.
బాగా వచ్చిందా?
అయ్యో 10/10 అండి, చాలా బాగా వచ్చిందా?
వెరీ గుడ్. ఇంకేంటి?
ఆఫీస్ లో పని బాగా ఉందండి, అందువల్ల సాధన కొంచెం తగ్గింది. అమెరికా నుంచి అవునండి. అవును అవును, అమెరికా నుంచి వీళ్ళు సీనియర్ లీడర్షిప్ టీం కూడా వచ్చారు. అమెరికా నుంచి అక్కడ కార్పొరేట్ ఆఫీస్ నుంచి సీనియర్స్ కూడా వచ్చారు.
ఓకే.
సో దట్స్ టేకింగ్ మచ్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్. ఐ మీన్ అదర్వైజ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈస్ గుడ్. యా
ఓకే. ఒక్కోసారి ఇట్లా వస్తుందా, అప్స్ అండ్ డౌన్స్.
అండ్ నాకు మంత్రం మీద రుచి కలుగుతుంది సార్.
చేసుకుంటూ పోవాలి వెంకటరత్నం.
అవును అవును అవును, రుచి కలుగుతుంది.
ఇప్పుడు శబరి 13 ఏళ్ళు ఎదురు చూసింది.
అవును అవునండి, అవును అవును.
రోజు లేవటం, ఆ చుట్టూ ఆయన రాముడికి చెప్పులు బట్టలు పట్టుకెళ్ళిపోయాడంట కదా.
అవును అవును.
అందుకని ఆయనకి ఎక్కడ ముళ్ళు పుచ్చుకుంటాయోనని అదంతా క్లీన్ చేస్తూ, పూలు అవి పరుస్తూ, రోజు అక్కడ దొరికిన పళ్ళు కోసుకొస్తూ ఇట్లా చేసింది.
అవును అవును.
మధ్యలో ఒకసారి మతంగా ముందు అడుగుతుంది, వస్తాడా రాముడు నా దగ్గరికి, వస్తాడా అని. మతంగా ముందు అంటాడు, తప్పకుండా వస్తాడమ్మా, అంటాడు. అంతే, ఆ విశ్వాసంతో ఆవిడ అట్లాగే చేసింది. అక్కడికి వచ్చాడు కదా,
అవును,
వచ్చి
వచ్చారు వచ్చారు, అవును వచ్చారు, వచ్చారు, వచ్చారు.
ఏం చేశాడు? ఎంగిలి పళ్ళు తిన్నాడు.
ఎంగిల్ పళ్ళు తిన్నాడా?
దాసరి శతకంలో రామదాస్ కూడా రాశాడు,
అవును అవును
ఎంతటి పుణ్యమో శబరి ఇంగిలి కొంటివి వింతగాదే నీ మంతన మెట్టిదో ఉడితమైన కరాగ్ర నఖాంకురంబులను సంతసమండజేసితివి
అవును
సత్కుల
అవును
జన్మములు ఏమి లెక్క. నీ మంతన మెట్టిదో అని
అవును అవును అవును
చెప్పాడు.
అవును.
ఏంటంటే, ఐ డోంట్ నో వెదర్ యూ హ్యావ్ గాన్ టు అమెరికా అండ్ అదర్ ప్లేసెస్. ఇండియాలో ఉన్న ఉడతకి మాత్రమే 3 సార్లు ఉంటాయి వీపు మీద.
ఆహాహాహా.
వేరే చోట ఉడత సేమ్ సార్లు ఉండవు.
చార్లండు, ఆహాహాహా.
రాముడు
అవును
ప్రేమతో
అవును. ప్రేమతో
నిమిరాడంట.
నిమిరాడు, నిమిరాడు. అవును అవును
ఆయన ఆ సేతు బంధనం చేసేటప్పుడు ఇదంతా వెళ్ళి ఇసుకలో పొర్లి ఇటు
అవును
వచ్చి
అవును
దులుపుతుందంట.
అవును అవును.
అక్కడ అంటించుకుని ఇసుకొచ్చి ఇక్కడ దులుపుతుంది.
అవును
అందుకని
అవును అవును.
వృద్ధాసాయం అంటారు.
అవును అవును
గాడ్
అవును.
రామ సో మచ్ ప్లీజ్డ్, దాన్ని నిమిరాడంట. అందుకని ఇండియాలో ఉన్న ఉడతకే, ఆ స్క్విర్రెల్కే పైన ఆ చారలు ఉంటాయి. వేరే వాటికి అమెరికాలో ఉండే ఉడతకి ఉండవు.
ఉండవు ఉండవు.
యు మస్ట్ అండర్ ఉడతా భక్తి అంటారే,
అవును అవును.
లేవు. ఉడతా భక్తి కూడా సరిపోతాయి.
అయ్యో అవును 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 అవును.
గాడ్ ఈజ్ సో మచ్ ప్లీజ్డ్ బై యువర్ డివోషన్ వెంకటరత్నం.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ అండి. అయ్యే
బీ సిన్సియర్, బీ సిన్సియర్ ఆల్వేస్. కథాజపం చేస్తా ఉండు.
తప్పుకున్నాను తప్పుకున్నాను
ఓకే,
తప్పుకున్నాను తప్పుకున్నాను.
ఇంకేంటి చెప్పు.
ఆ, చాలా చాలా మంచి పెద్ద మాట అండి అయ్యే. చాలా థ్యాంక్స్
ఆ?
అండి. చాలా పెద్ద మాట, చాలా థ్యాంక్స్ అండి అంటున్నానా.
ఏంటి పెద్ద మాట?
అదే గాడ్ ఈస్ ప్లీజ్డ్ అన్నారు కదా అండి, అది చాలా పెద్ద మాట.
దేర్ ఈజ్ నో డౌట్ అబౌట్ దట్. త్రూఅవుట్ మై లైఫ్ ఐ హావ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్డ్.
అవునండి అవును
ఓకే,
అవును అవును
సో
అవును.
I have unbounded faith on him. Not only me, most of the people who have been blessed by Lord admit this. Hmm?
తప్పకుండా.
So very merciful. God is very merciful.
అవును అవునండి
Okay?
అవును. ఓకే అండి.
Okay, Hari Om.
హరి ఓం హరి ఓం.